Hey guys, May here, and today I'm going to be doing a video that was actually requested by a subscriber, and they wanted me to go through and tell you guys all of my favorite non-title tracks from Infinite. So I'm here to do that today. I've actually filmed this before, but I decided to refilm it because I have all of my albums with me, so there's no point in me editing the video when I could just film it with all of the albums kind of thing. I was gonna like add in pictures of each album, but why not just hold up every single album as I talk about it? I actually have a thread of this on Twitter that I made a while back, so I'll link that thread down below. It has all the songs that I listed in this video in case you want to like listen to the songs and you want all of the links to be in the same place. Yeah, the subunit one's not finished, but hopefully it's finished by the time you see this video. Yeah, let's go ahead and get started because they have a lot of music. So the first album I'm going to talk about is Infinite's First Invasion, obviously, and my favorite song on First Invasion that's not the title track is In Trust, which is track number 6, Makyo. So I completely love this song. It's a really fun song. I think it's one of those songs that even when I listen to it almost 7 years later, it's like still just an incredible song for me. Some of the albums I do have multiple songs on that I'm going to talk about, but for this one I'm just going to say Makyo, even though I do enjoy this entire album still. It's very classic Infinite. Also, I'm just noticing how beaten up my First Invasion album is because I've literally had it since 2010. Then we move on to the second mini album, Evolution, which you can actually see in this lighting. Can't see a lot in this lighting because it's really bad today, but yeah. My favorite songs on Evolution, this is actually one of my favorite mini album to date from Infinite. My favorite song is Can You Smile, which is track 3. They have performed Can You Smile quite a bit. I believe the video in the Twitter thread is actually a performance of them performing Can You Smile, but it's just a very, sounds upbeat, sounds happy, but it's a really, really sad song actually about a breakup. And I love that about Infinite's music is that they will make their breakup songs sound like not like their breakup songs at all. If you don't understand Korean, you're just like, oh, this is such a happy song, and then you look at the lyrics and you're like, oh, now I'm crying. And then the other song I really like on this album is track 6, which is Don't Know, I Don't Know, Mula. And the thing about Mula that I really, really enjoy is that it has like almost a rock feel to it. So Sunggyu sounds very good in this song, and it's just kind of a different sound from the rest of the songs on the album. So it really stood out to me the first time I listened to Evolution. Then we moved on to Infinite's first Korean single album, Inspirit, the only non-title on this album because Can You Smile, even though it was a remake, was used as a title track or a follow-up song for a little bit. My favorite song is Shot on this, which sounds like I'm just choosing the only non-title that was on this album, which I mean I am, but it doesn't make it any less of a quality song, and I feel like Shot has a lot of Youngsoo in it, and this was back when they weren't really pushing Youngsoo as the third best vocalist, but they were still very much pushing Hoya and Dongwoo as rappers and not as vocalists. So I think that this shows a lot of Youngsoo in it, which is really nice. Then they released their first Korean full-length album that year. It was a year of firsts, and that is Over the Top, and this is one of my favorite things. I'll leave me ranking Infinite's albums down below, and it has all the way up to the Reality era. So my favorite songs on this album are TikTok, which is track number 4. I love TikTok. I think that Infinite has a couple songs that sound like TikTok, but TikTok was the first of its kind. So when it came out, I was like obsessed. Really, just obsessed with it. 1/3, if you've ever seen the performance, this is track 3. 1/3. Also a very, very awesome song. It just, again, sounds different when you listen to the album all the way through. You hear these songs and you're like, these are all very different songs, which is so nice about their first full-length album. Their second full-length album kind of blends together. We'll talk about that when we get there. The first full-length album has a lot of songs that sound very different and stand out very much. So then the third song is Amazing, which is track number 8, and they performed Amazing when they were performing Nakwacha. The outfits are so cute, and it's also another song that like it's basically just a guy trying to be like, everything's okay, but there's something missing. Oh right, we broke up, we just broke up. And then they remember that and then they're really sad. So it's another one of those Infinite songs that sounds super happy and super exciting, and the choreo for it is really cute, but it's actually a pretty sad song, so RT if you cry every time. Then they came out with the repackage of it, Paradise, and the only non-title on Paradise that was new was CoverGirl, but CoverGirl is actually a very special song to me because that is the only Infinite song that Sunggyu has ever rapped in. He was listed as a sub-rapper for a while, along with being a sub-vocalist, and this is the only song that he's ever rapped in, and I would not like to see it in an Infinite song, but I would like to see an Infinite F if they ever have a comeback, if that ever ends up actually being a thing. I would like to see Sunggyu rap on an Infinite F album because I really liked his rapping. I just don't think it's the same level as Dongwon Hoya's, so I do prefer him as a main vocal or a sub vocalist in Infinite, but in Infinite H I feel like there's definitely room for him to be a rapper. INFINITIZE, which is their third mini album. Also, I've talked about this before, but like one of my favorite photo book concepts, like so beautiful. The music on this was really good. It had been a long time since Infinite had had a comeback because they released all of those things so close together and then kind of disappeared to Japan for a little bit. So it had been a while since they'd released music in Korea. But my favorite non-title on INFINITIZE is Feel So Bad, which I've nicknamed TikTok 2.0 because it sounds very much like TikTok, but I can't be upset about Infinite copying Infinite. Like, why would I be upset about that? So I love TikTok, I love Feel So Bad, both very high quality songs. New Challenge is the album that I always make fun of. Their fourth mini album was released in 2013, and I always make fun of this because it's the strangest part of Infinite's discography. There's no other concept that Infinite's ever done that is similar to New Challenge, and every time Infinite announces a comeback, people hope and pray that it's gonna be another New Challenge, and never is, because they just tried the concept, weren't, for whatever reason, just decided it wasn't for them, and then they gave the concept to Infinite F. So Infinite F should be promoted more. They only have 3 songs. But my favorite songs on New Challenge, because I did really enjoy this mini album, I enjoy Man in Love. I do. It's not my favorite Infinite title track, but it is one of my favorites. I really enjoy it, just because it is so different from the rest of the discography. Sometimes when I don't feel like listening to a song about how sad the Infinite are, I listen to New Challenge. But As Good As It Gets is a very, very good song. I'm also a big fan of Beautiful, but that's mostly because Wheeun made that song, which is why this album is so important, is because Wheeun's song's on it, and not 60-second Infinite version. I actually despise that. Inconvenient Truth, even though there are questionable lyrics in it, has always been kind of a jam. If I don't think about the lyrics, it's been kind of a jam. And then later that year, they immediately went back to the dark concept and released Destiny, the second Korean single, and my favorite song on Destiny is, this sounds like literally every Inspirit's answer, but it's Inception. Destiny, Inception, they performed this as their like second song when they started promoting Destiny on music shows, so there's definitely tons of performances out there, but they have this really cool choreography with the chairs, and I love it. An era I don't talk about a lot, but one of my favorites. Season 2, because after a single becomes a full-length album, so they released Season 2, and like I said when I was talking about Over the Top, this album does blend together. My favorite songs on this are Breathe, which is track number 5. Yes, track number 5, Breathe, is a song that I don't really talk about that much, but because I kind of wasn't a huge fan of it when it first was released. I have become a really big fan of it in the past like year and a half or so. I feel like it's been almost 2 years now I've been a bit fan of this song. And then Shower has been my favorite since this album dropped. I feel like when I was listening through this album for the first time all the way through, I was like, it's pretty good, it's pretty good. Wheeun Solo is awesome, Infinite F has a song, like all these things, and then I got to Shower and I was like, and then Hey Hello is connected to Shower on the track list because hidden tracks. They released a repackage, and once again there was one other new song released on this album, and it was Diamond. And Diamond wasn't a huge fan of until the Dilemma Japanese single came out, because Diamond is a B track on that, the Japanese version of Diamond, and I really started to like it. I've never been a huge fan of Infinite ballads. I am a huge fan of, when I film my Super Junior video, you're gonna see I'm a huge fan of Super Junior ballads. Like, I love Super Junior ballads. But Infinite ballads I was always pretty about up until this era, and then Diamond came out and the era of me liking Infinite ballads a lot started. So then they released their 5th mini album, Reality. This is a limited edition, it's my favorite thing in the entire world. Reality was, comparing it to Infinite Only, Reality was a pretty mini album for me, but I still do have favorites on it. So Reality, I love Between Me and You. Again, like I said, I was starting to get into Infinite ballads around this time, and I'm still going through that era where I'm like a big fan of Infinite ballads. So Between Me and You, and then Ending Putake, Take Care of the Ending, is a song that they released a video for their 2nd world tour, and I loved it when Reality came out. This is heavy, so I keep putting it down. I loved it when Reality came out, and then I loved it even more when they re-released it on the live CD. I'm currently obsessed with the live version of the song. It's been like since November, like this. I've been obsessed with that. And then their latest mini album is Infinite Only, obviously, again, limited edition. I have normal editions for both. Infinite Only, I believe, is a much higher quality album than Reality. I do like Reality still though. I think I might like Bad more than The Eye, but I like both songs quite a bit. They're both some of my favorite Infinite title tracks. Track number 3, which is Air. I love the transition in Air. I love how it starts off with Hoya singing his like a beautiful vocal part, and then it drops, and then the rest of the song is like 0 to 100 kind of thing. So I really like that, and then I also really like Zero, which is track 7. The first time I heard the full version of Zero, I was listening through the album like all the way through, and I ended up replaying the entire album. I loved Zero so much. And then I'm also a big fan of Komowa. I think Komowa is my favorite Infinite ballad that they've ever released. So I'm still, like I said, going through that era where I love ballads. Infinite's first Japanese album is very much just Korean remakes. There's literally, or Japanese remakes of Korean songs they've released. There's no other like new songs, but their second Japanese album, For You, does have non-title new songs on it. For You is a really good song on this. Love of My Life, which if you haven't seen Youngsu's live, like using that song as a solo song, whew, it's so good. Because, oh my god, all of the OT7 stuff that has stuff. So now, for this, we'll go in chronological order. First mini album, Another Me. I Need You is a really good song. Should have been a second title track. Upset that it wasn't. Shine, which I believe is track 5 on this album. Really, really love that song. I feel like that song fits his second mini album better than it fits his first mini album, but it made me excited for his second mini album because I am absolutely obsessed with that song. For Infinite H's first mini album, Fly High, my favorite song on this, including the title track actually, is Fly High. Their first mini album, I'm really just not the biggest fan of the style, the company that they worked with. I've just never, compared to Fly Again, really just prefer Fly Again over Fly High, but Fly High features Baby Soul of Lovelies, and this was in 2013, so Lovelies weren't a thing yet, but Baby Soul did feature on an Infinite H song on their first album, so it made me excited that Baby Soul was like still there and still being like put into Infinite H songs because I love the way her voice matches H's voices. So To Heart, which is Wooyeon and Key, I always count it towards my Infinite collection because Wooyeon, he is one of my biases in Infinite, and even if he wasn't, he's 50% of this group. My favorite song on this is You're My Lady. I like Tell Me Why, but I feel like they treated Tell Me Why like a follow-up song for a little bit. But You're My Lady is such like a chill song while still being pretty upbeat. So if you're not really in a delicious kind of mood, You're My Lady I think is really like good in between. And then Infinite F was next. I love this mini album. Why won't they release more songs? My favorite on this, of the 3 songs that Infinite F have, my favorite is track number 2, which is It's You, because I love the little part in the middle of the song where they all start like fighting each other and making fun of each other, and that's just such an Infinite F, like, well, an Infinite thing, but it's Infinite F's concept, and I feel like that just, them being goofy and being cute is just really their concept. Sunggyu made a joke about them breaking up, and I was like, stop. But yeah, then we had Infinite H, I believe, was next. So Fly Again, one of my favorite solo subunit things that's ever been released, to be honest. My favorite song on this is Papa So Sorry, Sorry I'm Busy. I'm also a big fan of a lot of other songs, and I feel like I only talk about Papa So Sorry. Well, the song with Sanchez, Going Crazy is what I want to call the English title. But yeah, this whole mini album is actually really, really good, so definitely preferred this and listened to this way more than I listened to Fly High. Then next that year was Kim Sunggyu, and I love this mini album as well. Oh, I forget that this comes apart pretty easily. And my favorite song on this by far, I listen to this literally all the time, is Daydream, and that features Tableau of APINK and Kim Jongwon of Nell. And Jongwon is like Sunggyu's ultimate bias, like he is Sunggyu's idol, so that's pretty cool. Also, I always think of it as like my Woollim family song because Woollim doesn't do anything. I wrote on Twitter last night, I was like, if Woollim doesn't release a family song after debuting 2 new groups and giving both Infinite and Lovelyz lots of promotions this year, I'm going to be really annoyed because this is a perfect year for them to release a family Christmas song. I just want them to do it so bad. But yeah, this is my OG Woollim fam Christmas song. It's not a Christmas song. It's a really, really pretty song though. And then the last solo subunit thing that I have is Wooyeon's Right album. Of course, love him, love this. My favorite song on this is definitely Everyday, but if we're going for official track list, because Everyday was a hidden track, Gravity is so good. Gravity is so good. Which I believe was made by Wooyeon. That is it. If you guys ever have any suggestions for videos you'd like to see from me, things you'd like to see me talk about, definitely leave them in the comment section down below. I love suggestions, and I feel like lately my channel has gotten a little repetitive, so I feel like it was good to have kind of a different video. I'm gonna do one of these for Super Junior, but if you would like me to do one for another group that you know I'm really into, definitely let me know. I would love to do this again for another group. Yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys very, very soon. Bye!